This clip is amazing. And the second I saw it, I knew I had to bring it to you. We got to make it go viral. Right now, it only has 440,000 views. That is not enough because Rep. Johanna Haynes of Connecticut had a town hall event a couple days ago, and a local MAGA supporter tried to confront the Congresswoman with nonsensical rhetoric about government spending and her response to the flooding in August, which, by the way, she wasn't in the state. She was at the DNC. And in return, as it says here, the former teacher of the year gave a lesson on the subject of fuck around and find out. We have to make this go viral. So please watch this. It's 6 minutes and 20 seconds long. I am telling you, it is worth every second. And this is how we push back against people who don't have the facts. Calmly and with a smile. And unrelentingly.
There are a lot of compelling stories in here today, and that's good to hear to some level. At the same time, leadership means making choices. The 56 signatories to the Declaration of Independence pledge their lives, their sacred honor, and their fortunes for an idea and a constitution of limited actions and things of that sort. I would suggest to anybody here that wants to have an argument about this that the government has become too large. We heard people talking about this, that, and whatever else, and not being able to get answers back from your office or anybody else's offices. And that may very well be from my perspective because the government has tried to take on too many things. My question to you very simply today, as a Congress lady, you have to make choices. You can't say everybody in here has a good idea, I have to enact that or put a bill through for that. You need to make choices. And Congresswoman Hayes, what are you going to do to try to reduce the cost of government?
I'm open to like I said at the very beginning, tightening our belts, seeing where we have waste and fraud, programs that we can streamline, things that we can modernize. People need to understand what that means, though.
Could I also suggest to you that we are here today partly because you didn't make choices in the prior administration where people who didn't go to college were being asked to pay off the loans of those that did go to college. What was your voice?
Everyone.
You talked about Constitution, you talked about illegality and things of that sort. And to my understanding, the forgiveness of student loans was not legal. So were you making choices about that? And again, I'm talking to you as a taxpayer.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm up to here on taxes for the federal government. I'm up to here on the federal government taxes and on the state taxes. And I'm simply asking you as a congressperson, what are you doing to reduce the cost of government? Thank you again.
Like I just said, all of the things, however, I'm just going to inject this, and I know I just said we only have a little bit of time, but I wasn't a homeowner when the federal government failed out the mortgage industry. I didn't own any stocks when the federal government failed out the banking industry. I didn't own a car when the federal government bailed out the auto industry. And the fact that our hard line is a 19-year-old who wants to go to college and turn around poverty in their family and change the trajectory for their children, we have a problem there. The federal government took on the responsibility of managing and overseeing the student loan program to make a profit.
Real quick, if you're liking this video, please hit like on the video. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much.
That's right. That's what they did. So you had people who, long before Obama, but even if it was, okay, I'll give that to you. Even if it was Obama, we have a responsibility. It's a relay. We go from one administration to the other. This idea that, oh, this was Obama's fault, because what was spent in the student loan forgiveness program doesn't even come close to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, where 93% of the benefits went to the top 1% of the population. Doesn't even come close. Doesn't even come close. So yes, I am all for. So no, because it is very interesting that that is always the program that people bring up. When a storm hits and FEMA comes in, American taxpayer dollars are sent to help Americans.
Where were you, Congresswoman Hayes? You said you couldn't come back from Chicago. I looked at Southwest Airlines that day. There were 4 non-stop direct flights from
remember, no, we'll address this. Because if we're having a storm that you're describing, I don't care what the internet says. If you've been at an airport or been on a plane is not flying into a storm. A plane is not flying into a storm. That's just basic.
Come on.
Go ahead. Let's go.
I'm very
But
confused.
you know what? I also want to say something else about that. Because I was in Chicago at the Democratic National Convention when a storm hit our state unexpectedly. I was with the governor, the lieutenant governor, every constitutional, both senators, and every member of Congress. And the only person that anybody called out was me. The entire Connecticut delegation was there when we got the alert that a storm was going to hit Connecticut. I would have never gotten on a plane had I known the people in my district were going to be hurt. And I immediately went to work to get a declaration and money and relief back to this district to help the people that were hurt. And don't say in 24 hours. And don't say it's because I was on the ballot. Chris Murphy was on the ballot too, and I didn't hear boo. So these unfair standards and purity tests and different levels of accountability for different people, I have no problem standing in front of the people that I represent, telling you why I voted the way I did, defending a position that I have, giving you my time, energy, and attention because you deserve it and the people elected me for that. I will never hide from my constituents or from a position that I took on anything.
I hope you liked the video. I just want to give a quick plug for my Substack called No Lies Detected. You can find it at keithedwards.substack.com. My most recent article is maybe my favorite. It's called People Not Process, How Democrats Can Find Their Voice. Before human beings were reading and writing, we were telling each other stories, and it goes into how Democrats need to stop being the party of process, needs to be the party of people, and how we become the party of people is not by telling people how things should be, but telling people stories about what's happening and why that needs to change. So I hope you'll check it out. It's a labor of love. We're like 500 subscribers away from 10,000, which is a nice milestone. So if you could subscribe and you're not subscribed, I would love that. There's a link in the description, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.